The night before my wedding, I heard my dad tell my fiancée, "It'll be our secret." My name is Maxwell. I was 31 years old, worked as a construction supervisor in Kansas City, Missouri, and had spent the better part of a year planning what was supposed to be the best day of my life. I was marrying Vanessa, the woman I had been with for 3 years. She was beautiful, smart, ambitious. Everyone loved her. My dad especially. I had gone back to the venue that Thursday night because I forgot my phone charger in the event coordinator's office. The rehearsal dinner had ended an hour earlier. I figured everyone had left. The parking lot was nearly empty, just a few cars scattered under the dim lights. I recognized my dad's truck and Vanessa's sedan. I walked in through the side entrance, the one that led to the hallway behind the main hall. That was when I heard them. Low voices coming from one of the private rooms we had rented for the bridal party. The door was cracked open just enough. "It'll be our secret," my dad said. I froze. Vanessa laughed, not her usual laugh, something softer, more intimate. "You're terrible," she said. "What if someone finds out?" "No one will. Trust me." I stood there for what felt like an eternity, my heart pounding so hard I thought they might hear it. I wanted to push the door open. I wanted to scream, but something stopped me. Some instinct told me to wait, to listen, to be sure. "I feel awful," Vanessa said. "Maxwell's been so good to me." "He doesn't need to know," my dad replied. "What he doesn't know won't hurt him." I backed away slowly, quietly, until I reached the exit. I got in my car and sat there in the dark, staring at nothing. My hands were shaking, my mind was racing. I kept replaying the words over and over. Our secret. He doesn't need to know. I did not sleep that night. I sat at my kitchen table with a bottle of whiskey I did not open and my phone in my hand. I thought about calling off the wedding. I thought about confronting them both right then. But I did not do either. I just sat there, thinking about everything that had led me to this moment. And I realized something. This was not sudden. There had been signs. Small things I had brushed off because I trusted them both. Because I wanted to believe the best in people. I decided I would wait. I would let them think I knew nothing. And tomorrow at the altar I would make sure everyone knew the truth. My dad and I had always been close. He raised me and my younger sister alone after my mom died when I was 12. Cancer took her in 8 months. He worked 2 jobs to keep us fed and housed. He taught me how to fix engines, how to frame a house, how to shake hands like a man. I respected him more than anyone. When I introduced him to Vanessa, he loved her immediately. He said she reminded him of my mom. Beautiful, strong, knew what she wanted. He said I was lucky. I believed him. Vanessa and I met at a friend's barbecue. She worked in real estate, made good money, drove a car nicer than mine. She said she liked that I worked with my hands, that I was not like the guys in suits she usually met. We moved in together after a year, got engaged 6 months after that. My dad came over for dinner every Sunday. He and Vanessa got along great. Too great, I thought sometimes, but I shoved that feeling down. It was just my insecurity talking. She was friendly. He was lonely. It made sense they would bond. But looking back, I saw it now. The way she always sat next to him at family dinners. The way she texted him more than she texted me some days. The way he always had an excuse to stop by our apartment when I was at work. 3 months before the wedding, Vanessa started acting different, distant. She said she was stressed about work, about the wedding planning. I believed her. I tried to help more. Took on more of the planning. Let her vent when she needed to. My dad offered to pay for part of the wedding. I told him he did not have to, but he insisted. Said it was his duty as the father of the groom. He wrote a check for $10,000. I cried when he handed it to me. Told him I did not deserve him. 2 weeks before the wedding, I came home early from a job site. Vanessa was on the phone in our bedroom. I heard her say, "I can't keep doing this." Then she saw me and hung up fast, said it was a bridesmaid freaking out about her dress. I did not question it. The rehearsal dinner was perfect. My dad gave a toast, said I was the best son a man could ask for, said Vanessa was going to make me the happiest man alive. Everyone clapped. I hugged him, told him I loved him, and then, hours later, I heard him in that room with my fiancée, talking about secrets. I spent the rest of that night going through my phone, old texts, call logs, anything that might give me a clue. I found nothing. They were smart. If this had been going on, they had covered their tracks. But I knew what I heard. I knew what it meant. I thought about canceling the wedding, calling everyone, telling them the truth. But I had already paid for most of it. The venue, the catering, the band. My dad's $10,000 had gone toward the bar and the flowers. If I called it off now, I would lose everything. And they would get away with it. They would spin some story. Make me look like the unstable one. The one who could not handle the pressure. No, I needed proof. I needed everyone to see what they had done. I waited until morning, got dressed in my tuxedo, drove to the venue. My best man, Colin, met me in the groom's suite. He asked if I was nervous. I said no. He laughed, said I was the calmest groom he had ever seen. Vanessa was in the bridal suite on the other side of the building. I did not go see her. Tradition said I was not supposed to. How convenient. My dad showed up an hour before the ceremony. He clapped me on the shoulder, asked how I was feeling. I looked him in the eye and said I felt great. He smiled, told me he was proud of me. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to scream. But I just nodded and said thank you. The guests started arriving. 200 people, family, friends, co-workers, people I had known my whole life. People who thought they were here to celebrate love. I stood at the altar with the officiant and my groomsmen. The music started. The bridesmaids walked down the aisle. Then Vanessa appeared at the entrance, my dad walking beside her. He was giving her away. I had asked him 2 months ago. He had cried when I asked, said it would be an honor. They walked down the aisle together. Vanessa smiled at me. My dad smiled at me. I smiled back. When they reached the altar, my dad kissed Vanessa on the cheek and handed her to me. Our hands touched. Hers were cold. The officiant started talking. I barely heard him. My heart was pounding. My hands were sweating. I looked out at the crowd. Everyone was watching us, waiting for the vows. The officiant turned to me, asked if I had anything I wanted to say before we began. I nodded, pulled a folded piece of paper from my jacket pocket. I had written it that morning. I looked at Vanessa, then at my dad sitting in the front row, and I started to read. First, I want to thank everyone for coming, I said. My voice was steady, clear. It means a lot to see so many people here to support us. Vanessa smiled. She had no idea. I also want to thank my dad, I continued, for everything, for raising me, for teaching me what it means to be a man, for being there when I needed him. My dad nodded. He looked proud. And I want to thank Vanessa, I said, for 3 years of memories, for teaching me what love is supposed to look like. She reached for my hand. I pulled it away. But I cannot marry you today, I said. The room went silent. Vanessa's face went white. My dad sat up straighter in his seat. Last night I went back to the venue to get something I forgot, I said, and I overheard a conversation between you, Vanessa, and you, Dad. My dad stood up. Maxwell, what are you? Sit down, I said. My voice was louder now, harder. He sat. I heard you tell her it'll be our secret, I said. I heard you say what he doesn't know won't hurt him. Vanessa started crying. Maxwell, it's not what you think. Then what is it? I asked. Because it sounded pretty clear to me. She did not answer. She just stood there, tears running down her face, her bouquet shaking in her hands. I looked at my dad. You paid for part of this wedding. You walked her down the aisle. You looked me in the eye this morning and told me you were proud of me, and the whole time you were lying. Son, please, my dad said. Let's talk about this in private. No, I said. We're going to talk about it right here, in front of everyone." The guests were staring. Some looked shocked. Some looked confused. My sister was crying in the third row. "I do not know how long this has been going on," I said. "I do not know if it was physical. I do not know if it was emotional. But I know it was something. And I know you both thought you could hide it from me." Vanessa was sobbing now. "Maxwell, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Sorry for what?" I asked. "Sorry you got caught, or sorry you did it?" She did not answer. I looked at my dad. "You taught me to be honest, to be loyal, to treat people with respect. And then you did this." He stood up again. "Maxwell, you're making a mistake. You're embarrassing yourself." "No," I said. "You embarrassed me. You humiliated me. You betrayed me." I turned to the crowd. "I apologize for wasting your time. There will be no wedding today. But there is food and an open bar, so please stay and enjoy yourselves. It's already paid for." I walked down the aisle. My groomsmen followed. Colin put his hand on my shoulder as we walked out. Did not say a word. Just walked with me. Behind me I heard chaos. Vanessa crying, my dad shouting, guests murmuring, the officiant trying to calm everyone down. I got in my car and drove. I did not know where I was going, I just drove. My phone started ringing, I turned it off. I did not want to hear their excuses. I did not want to hear their apologies. I just wanted to be alone. I checked into a motel on the edge of town, paid cash for 3 nights, sat on the bed and stared at the wall. My tuxedo felt like a costume. I took it off and threw it in the corner. My phone had 57 missed calls by the time I turned it back on, 20 from Vanessa, 15 from my dad, the rest from family and friends. I ignored all of them. I did have one voicemail. From my sister, Lauren. She said she believed me. She said she was sorry. She said she loved me. I saved it. The next morning, I went back to the apartment I shared with Vanessa. She was there. She looked like she had not slept. Her eyes were red and swollen. "Maxwell, please," she said. "Let me explain." "Explain what?" I asked. "That you were sleeping with my dad?" "I wasn't," she said. "I swear it wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" She hesitated, looked down at her hands. "He was helping me plan something, for you, for the wedding. It was supposed to be a surprise." I laughed, actually laughed. "A surprise, that's your story." "It's the truth," she said. "We were planning a video montage of your life, from childhood to now. He was helping me gather photos and videos. That's what we were talking about." "Then why did he say it would be a secret?" I asked. "Why did you say you felt awful?" "Because I felt guilty keeping it from you," she said. "You hate surprises. I thought you'd be upset if you found out I was going behind your back." It almost sounded believable. Almost. "Show me," I said. "What?" "Show me the video. Show me the photos. Show me proof that's what you were doing." She could not. She said it was on her laptop, that she had not finished it yet, that she needed more time. I told her to get out. She refused, said it was her apartment too. Technically, she was right. Her name was on the lease, but I did not care. "Fine," I said. "I'll leave." I packed a bag and went back to the motel. I needed time to think, to figure out what to do next. I called a lawyer, a guy I had worked with on a few construction projects. He said I could probably sue for emotional distress, but he also said it would be hard to prove, that it was my word against theirs. "What about text messages?" I asked. "Phone records?" "If you can get them, maybe," he said, "but if they were careful, there might not be anything there." I hung up. I felt stuck, trapped. I had exposed them in front of everyone, but I had no proof. Just a conversation I overheard, just my gut telling me something was wrong. 2 days later, I went to my dad's house. He answered the door looking tired, older than I remembered. "We need to talk," I said. He let me in. We sat in his living room, the same room where we used to watch football. where he taught me how to play poker, where he told me about my mom after she died. Tell me the truth, I said. What were you and Vanessa doing? He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, I was helping her leave you. I did not move, did not speak, just stared at him. She came to me 2 months ago, he said. Told me she was having second thoughts about the wedding, that she wasn't sure if she loved you anymore. She asked me what she should do. And you told her what? I asked. I told her to be honest with you, to call off the wedding if that's what she wanted. But she was scared. Scared of hurting you. Scared of what people would think. So you helped her, I said. I tried to help both of you, he said. I thought if I could talk to her, figure out what was really going on, maybe I could fix it. Maybe I could save your relationship. By meeting her in secret, I said. By telling her to keep things from me. I was trying to protect you, he said. No, I said. You were trying to play God. You were trying to control the situation, and you made it worse. He did not argue, just sat there with his head in his hands. Was there anything physical between you two? I asked. No, he said. Never. I swear on your mother's grave. I wanted to believe him. Part of me did. But I did not know if I could trust anything he said anymore. She left town, he said, yesterday. Said she couldn't stay here after what happened. She went back to her parents' place in Omaha. Good. I did not want to see her again. And what about you? I asked. What are you going to do? I don't know, he said. I messed up, Maxwell. I know that. I was trying to help and I made everything worse. I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this, I said. I know, he said. I stood up. I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't know if I want to. I understand, he said. I walked to the door, stopped, turned back. You taught me that family comes first, that loyalty matters, that you never betray the people you love, and then you did exactly that. I wasn't trying to betray you, he said. I was trying to save you from getting hurt. Well, you failed, I said. Because I'm more hurt now than I ever would have been if she had just told me the truth. I left, got in my car, drove back to the motel. I sat there for hours, thinking about everything he said, trying to decide if I believed him. I wanted to. I wanted to believe he was just trying to help, that there was nothing more to it. But the way Vanessa laughed that night, the way she said he was terrible, it felt like more than just planning an exit strategy. I called my sister, told her everything my dad said. She listened without interrupting. Do you believe him? She asked when I finished. I don't know, I said. I do, she said. I think he was trying to help, but I also think he went about it the wrong way. He should have told you what Vanessa said. He should have let you handle it. She was right. Even if his intentions were good, he betrayed my trust. He made decisions about my life without involving me, and that was unforgivable. What are you going to do? Lauren asked. I don't know, I said, but I'm not going back to either of them. 3 weeks after the wedding that never happened, I got a call from Colin. He said Vanessa had posted something on social media, a long explanation about what happened, about how she and my dad were innocent, about how I had overreacted and ruined everything. I did not read it, but apparently a lot of people did, and they believed her. I got messages from relatives I barely knew, old friends, people telling me I owed her an apology, that I was cruel for humiliating her, that I should have handled it privately. I did not respond to any of them. But Lauren did. She posted her own message, explaining that she had talked to both me and our dad, that she knew the full story, that Vanessa had been planning to leave me and that Dad had been helping her in secret, that I had every right to call off the wedding the way I did. The tide turned. People started taking my side, started questioning Vanessa's version of events. She deleted her post within a day. My dad called me after that. Said people were asking him questions. Said he was getting judged at church, at the hardware store, everywhere he went. I told them the truth, he said, that I was trying to help you, but they don't believe me. They think I was having an affair with your fiancé. That's what you get, I said. That's what happens when you lie, when you sneak around. People assume the worst. He did not argue, just said he was sorry again and hung up. I did not feel good about it, did not feel vindicated, just felt tired. Tired of the whole situation, tired of defending myself, tired of explaining. I wanted it to be over, and finally, it was starting to be. 6 weeks after everything fell apart, I moved to Denver. Got a job with a construction company that had been trying to recruit me for a year. Better pay, better hours, a fresh start. I heard through Lauren that Vanessa got engaged again, to some guy she met in Omaha. They were getting married in the spring. I did not care, did not feel jealous or angry, just felt nothing. My dad and I talked once a month, short conversations, surface level. He asked how work was. I told him it was fine. He told me about his garden, about the weather, about nothing that mattered. Lauren said he looked older, that he seemed lonely, that he asked about me all the time, but I was not ready to forgive him. Maybe I never would be. I dated a little, nothing serious. I was not ready for that yet. Maybe I would not be for a long time, but I was okay. I had a good job, a decent apartment, friends who supported me. That was enough. One night I drove past a wedding venue on my way home from work. Saw a bride and groom standing outside taking photos. The bride was laughing. The groom looked happy, real happy. I thought about what my wedding was supposed to be, what it could have been if Vanessa had just been honest, if my dad had just stayed out of it. But then I thought about what it turned into, the chaos, the exposure, the truth coming out in the worst possible way. And I realized something. I dodged a bullet. If I had married her, if I had never found out, I would have spent years wondering, doubting, feeling like something was off. At least now I knew. And I was free. Vanessa's engagement lasted 4 months before her new fiancé found out she had been texting her ex behind his back. He called it off publicly, and she moved back to Kansas City, where no one wanted anything to do with her. She lost most of her clients in real estate after word spread about what happened. Last I heard, she was working retail and living with a roommate. My dad became a pariah in his church community. People stopped inviting him to gatherings. He tried to explain himself, but the damage was done. He sold his house and moved 2 towns over where no one knew his name. Lauren visits him sometimes, says he looks broken, says he regrets everything. I believe her. But I still have not gone to see him. People ask me sometimes if I regret calling off the wedding the way I did, if I wish I had handled it differently. The answer is no. They deserved to be exposed. They deserved to feel the weight of their choices in front of everyone who mattered. I learned something that day at the altar. That trust once broken can never be fully repaired. That some betrayals cut too deep to forgive. And that sometimes, walking away is the only way to save yourself.